Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Today's flavor is toasted hazelnut and it's actual coffee. So I'm trying to reinitiate real coffee. Not that I haven't had coffee at all, but I've really cut back on it because of my stomach issues. I finally finished that nasty medication. I was taking Carafate and had to make it into a slurry and drink it. Ugh, it was like drinking chalk. It was awful. But I got through it, and I was on that for a couple months. So I'm hoping it cleared up my gastritis issue. But my stomach still isn't 100%. I imagine it's something chronic that I'll always have to deal with. I've had an endoscopy done, so a colonoscopy done. I've been poked and prodded from both ends, and it's something that just flares up. So hopefully it doesn't get too bad over time, but it's something that has become a chronic issue, and most of us as we get older end up with something, so I guess you just have to keep on top of it and tough it out as much as you can. So today's temperature is going to be 72, and it looks like it's going to be overcast, which is fine. Makes it more pleasant to go out there and finish planting up my flowers. It's not real windy. But you know, as the day progresses, that can change. So in a little bit, it's 60 out there now, and it gets a little bit warmer. I'll go out there and hopefully finish planting the flowers. Then I can go on to the last phase of the garden, which will be getting rid of some stuff that's still good that I have to clean, and cleaning up the weeds and putting some weed killer on there. I have some that I want to finish up, and then after that I'm going to go and use the vinegar and salt and dishwashing detergent. But I might as well use up what I have first and call that good. And then I'm going to call the pressure washer people and get that done, and then I'll be able to go out in my garden and just enjoy it and plant some seeds here and there as need be and call it good and hopefully enjoy my garden. So this year I've cut back on things that I've planted, but the flowers I think I enjoy. But I did cut back on a lot of pots. A lot of them I threw away, and some of them I am going to hold on to, but I'm not going to use. And then as my pots break, which they obviously will, I'll just replace those with the pots that were still good. It's not a ton of pots that I'm keeping, but they're pots that I've had for a long time, and if I price them now with the size of them, it would cost me at least $30 for the pot. And I don't want to do that. They're lightweight. They're that foam stuff, not plastic. I don't know what you'd call it, but they're lightweight. So I don't want to get too many ceramic pots because A, they're too heavy to move, and B, a lot of them don't make it through the winter. So I want to keep the foam type pots for down the road. So cheers. Very good. I always like the hazelnut coffee with the chocolate creamer. It's kind of a Nutella-ish kind of flavor, for lack of a better term. So, all right, well, I'm going to try and keep myself busy today. Still lots to do inside and outside. And then once the garden is good and set up, I'm going to get started on my garage. But in the meantime, I'm going to meet you over there at the budget book and see if I did any damage yesterday. All right, here we are, back at my budget book. Well, yesterday I didn't spend any money, which was good. It rained all day, so I did some things inside. But I need to do more. It's such a slow process for me getting anything done. Sometimes it can be a little frustrating. And that's the best reason I know to cut back. So that's what I'm trying to do. But I've spent quite a bit on my garden this year. I did buy 4 raised beds from Ollie's, and they were very inexpensive. The bigger ones were $39, and the smaller ones I think were $29. Either that or the smaller ones were $39 and the larger ones were $49. But anyway, I replaced a lot of pots with those, and I don't have to bend over at all to garden in them. So as time goes by, I think I want to replace my city pickers that are that way too, and maybe down the road get just a couple more. I don't want too many. The city picker boxes are available on a stand, but I can't buy just the stand. I haven't seen that on Amazon lately. You used to be able to buy the stand, but buying just the stand was almost as much as buying the whole unit with the box. So those make it easy to garden with too if you have, if you're older and you have, joint problems, back problems, whatever problems you have. So it's still a process, a developing process, trying to make things easier so that I can continue to garden for a few more years. But this year I did cut back. I didn't do my own starts this year, which I've done the last few years. That was a lot of work, and it, even in the winter, I have enough house plants that I can, garden inside with those. There's a few plants that I bring in over winter. This year I want to try and bring in the fuchsia and see if I can maybe keep those alive. So we'll see. I don't want to overwhelm myself with things in the house. I'd rather just spend the money in the spring and get new plants. But there are a couple that I like that I want to try and overwinter. And especially my little Meyer lemon tree. And I've had that for, I think it's going on, this year will be the 3rd year. So it's going to be going outside in a couple days as soon as I figure out how I want to set everything up out there. And that's my plan for the garden. But this year I did spend quite a bit on flowers, but I do enjoy them. And I have to water anyway, so what's one more pot? So, anyhow, I want to be done with buying things for the garden, and hopefully I'll have everything I need. Now, at some point, I will need to restock up on fertilizer. And I'm not real picky about, what kind of fertilizer. It doesn't have to be organic. I mean, I didn't buy organic plants, so there's no point really. So, but I do want to use up what I have. But in order to get to some of the things that I have in a cupboard in the garage, I have to get that garage cleaned up. It's really horrendous, to say the least. So, all right, well, I don't plan on spending any money today. I have enough to eat. I think I'm done with my garden purchases, so I'm going to see if I can't tighten up the belt a little bit now. All right, that's it for the budget book today. Morning, while I was waiting for things to dry up a little bit in the garden, I rearranged my little indoor garden. And what I did was I had these gray succulents. They've been floating around all over the place. They didn't quite fit with a lot of the things. It was a big bush. And they fit perfectly with this little fountain. So I put those in there. And then I ended up putting these candles on a charger. And I put those in there. And this was a vase that I put flowers in, and then I noticed it was leaking. And I almost threw it away, but it fits perfectly on this candle holder. So I like the way that looks. And when everything's turned on, these are fake candles in there, of course, but it's very peaceful and calm in this corner. And the plants are doing well. So, and I also kept the grow light here that was over my lemon tree. And I figured my Norfolk Island pine will like those. So I have those there. And then, of course, I have my big, huge Schiffelera that loves the skylight up there. So I did that this morning. And then I went out and worked in the garden for a little bit. All right, let's have a look at the garden. Well, my little elephant ears are coming back. They all have new growth. I'm not sure what kind this is. Well, it's some kind of elephant ear. So the big one down here doesn't look like it's doing much, but the little ones are coming back, and I was very surprised about that because I just stuck them in the house, watered them maybe 2 or 3 times, and then was done with them, so I thought they were dead. But I put them outside, and they are coming back. My hostas that I planted last year came back. This one's really pretty. This is another elephant ear called Illustris, and it's really pretty when it's dark and light, and so that's doing really well. Oh, my fountain isn't on. I'm going to have to trip the breaker there. So, and then this one over here is my very favorite elephant ear. It's the Mojito, and again, it's got the dark and the lime green, really pretty. And the big one is coming back too. I have to plant this. It's, I think it's a perennial, Ajuga. I'm going to plant that in here. And in here I'm going to plant some impatiens. So the fuchsia is doing well. The fern is doing well. This is the fuchsia that I bought the other day. Really pretty. Looks like angel wings. And then this one over here is doing nicely. It's full of blossoms. Awesome. So I think I have water spikes. I think what I'm going to do is fill those with a little light fertilizer and stick those into my fuchsia. So then over here, this is my little table and chair set that I bought at Mark's for $39.99. That was a good buy. So I got that, and this is a little tiny celery that came back from the garden last year. So everything is still very wet, but over here, these are the pots that I'm keeping. I have to clean those up and store them somewhere, but I emptied all those out. These are still doing nicely, and my grapevine is going crazy, which is nice. Makes it a little more private back here. My lettuces, oh, that one's a nice big one over there. They're doing well. So these are the city pickers that are not on stands. I just have those on little tables, and it's doable. I kept 4, I had 6. I may, for this next coming season, just store the 2 that I'm not using. I don't know yet, or I may donate them, because this is sort of a work in progress to see what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep. So these are the raised boxes that I bought at Ollie's, and these 2 came with a plastic cover, so that'll be nice for early spring gardening. Oh, and my sage is blooming over there. My tomatoes are doing pretty well. I need to feed them. This area I want to keep for greens because I have a screen house that I'm going to put over here so the bugs don't eat it. I have to plant all this mint yet. I'm going to put those in pots. That's another reason I want to keep my pots, because the mint should come back every year, but I want to put that against the foundation of the house to keep the mice out. So those are the planters I got, and I'm really liking them. And this area is still a mess, and I have to plant these begonias yet. My red bud came back. I felt really bad taking the 2 I had down, but I'm going to try and keep this one no higher than this. So I'm going to keep trimming this and see what happens with it. So these are doing well. I planted these. The Wandering Jenny came back from last year. I have more tomatoes here, and they're starting to blossom, and they need to be fed as well. Over here I have a Rainer cherry tree that I just bought this year, and it is getting some new leaves, but it's not doing that great. The whole top of it seems like it's dead. My plum was nice last year. I didn't get any plums, but it's not looking very happy either. I think I need to trim off. This part is probably dead, but it is getting some new growth, which is good. And those are the raised city pickers. I have 4 of them. So I really would like to only garden in that type of garden box. And then these are my favorite. I've had these for a few years now. Got them at Mark's for $19.99 about, it was a few years back. And on Amazon they sell these for way over $100. They're self-watering. So I have 2 of those. And then I need to plant these flowers today. And those are my baskets that I made. They're the same as the other ones. So this area still needs to be cleaned up. And that's one of the last things I'll do, along with whacking these weeds and putting weed killer on those too. So I like to keep my garden on the natural side. It's just what I prefer. I don't like it a mess, but I don't like it perfect either. And then I have all this lettuce that reseeded itself from over the winter. So, okay, there is my garden, getting pretty lush and green. These are the 2 city pickers that I want to clean up, and I'll probably keep them for this year, and if I don't use them, then I'll donate them. And I don't really want to plant in these Dollar Tree stacker things anymore. It's too hard to keep them watered. So anyway, there it is. There is my garden. And then, like I said, the last thing I'm going to do is pressure wash the house. And you can see how tall it is. That's not something that I can do myself. But I can maintain it once it's clean. All right. Well, I got 1 flat of impatiens all planted. I planted, I transplanted some of the hostas to different spots. I planted that vining plant, I can't recall what it's called. So all the impatiens are planted now, and I'm very happy about that. The deck is pretty much done, but I have to water and clean it up yet. So this is what it looks like up close. I transplanted these elephant ears into matching pots. And then these are the ajuga. That's what those are called. And I have a very old koi fish in there I've had for years and years. I figure if anything ever falls in there, they can at least get out. So the 2 pots are the same. And then I still have to, in those baskets there, I want to put little gnome gardens. I have one there. And I have one there. But first I got to get everything planted. I planted a couple of little flower pots here with impatiens. And it's very nice and shady back here in this little corner. And I still have to work on my hummingbird feeder. So, okay, I'm going to go take a break. Well, I took my break. I was going to quit, but I got a second wind, but boy, that wind has sure blown away now. So anyway, I came out and I planted a couple more planters. So I planted that one. This one over here, I just pulled the weeds. It's not done yet. So that flat needs to go in there. And over here, this is what I have left to plant. These are so pretty. I planted this, that's going to stay there. And then I planted these 2 planters. This one and this one, and it looks so beautiful with my beautiful rhododendron. This rhododendron has been here for a very long time, and most of it died, but this one stem survived. And it's liking it now that the trees are gone. So I have some columbine here that reseeded itself. And my clematis is starting to bloom. It's got some blossoms there. So yeah, I have had it. I'm going to get in the shower and call that a day. Holy moly, I did get a lot done today, so I'm glad about that. And then I put together this DIY fountain. I've had this planter here for a very long time, and it's been here and over there, and I just didn't quite know what to do with it. So this is a self-watering pot, and it fits perfectly on top of there. So I'm going to put a couple plants in there, and my little solar fountain doesn't work anymore, so I have to get a new one. So that was my accomplishment for today, and I'm very happy. Hopefully tomorrow the weather will hold out and I'll get the rest of this stuff planted. So now I'm done. I'm going to go in. Even the dogs are tired. I don't know why. They didn't do anything all day. I have to plant this planter yet, and this whole half flat will be going in there, but this is all chickweed. I cannot get rid of the chickweed in my yard. But that's okay. That tells me it's fertile ground. So, alright, that's it for me today, guys. We want to wish you abundant blessings. We love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you. And we'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Don't forget to share, and thanks for watching.